Wake up, sleepyhead. It's time to write that book. Okay, so this is day 1 on your journey of how to write a book in 30 days, okay? So, before we get started, my name is T Styles. I'm an urban fiction thriller writer. I also own and operate the Elite Writers Academy, where I teach people how to build their book empires. That's a tongue twister, didn't even know it. So, this is our day 1 in the series on how to write a book in 30 days. So, we are about to get started, but before we get started, a few more points, because you need these points. The first thing you got to understand is you are going to write a character-driven book, not the other way around. So you're not going to write the book that you want to write based on scenes, based on stunts and sexual positions. Even if it's an erotic book, it has to have a storyline. You know, Zane is famous for this. She understands that, you know, it's not just about the sex, because who wants to have sex with just anybody? We got to like these people. So you are to write a character-driven book. I want you to take some time to think about some things, okay? How do your characters dress? And I'm looking down at my actual book. This is the actual book that I'm using. If you just jumped in on page 1, jumped in on day 1 without, going through the series. But how do they dress? How bright is their smile? What kind of foods do they eat? Do they pass gas? If so, what does it smell like? How big are their lips? Are they big and cute like your teacher's toy styles? Or are they thin and like pencils or like pieces of paper? The reason why you're asking these questions is the main reason from my consultations with, publishers, writers, and things like that. One of the main things that I run into when I'm trying to teach people is that they don't know their people. Imagine if you have never met me. Imagine if I wasn't this open book. Imagine if I wasn't. You wouldn't be able to tell people how I am, because you don't know me. You got to be around me. So you got to be around your characters. You have to know who they are. Interview them like your mother wouldn't know. Does it mean all of those things are going to be put into the book? No. But they're going to inform your decisions. And you need that in order to write your book in 30 days. You're not doing an outline. And because you're not doing an outline, you have to know who your people are, because they will inform your moods or your moves, your pages. They will inform them based on who they are. This is not up for discussion. You have to spend a lot of time. Now, I go into more detail with that in the book. If you don't want to get the book, that's fine. Just remember that you are to write that kind of character. And I want you to think about some things too. Like I said, how do they look? Eyes, ethnicity. How do they talk? This is really important. You want to make sure that every character doesn't talk the same. So if the doctor shouldn't be saying, "What's good, son?" unless he's a hood doctor, that grew up in Baltimore City and then got himself a got himself a medical degree and all that. That's something different. If he's not, then chances are he's probably not talking like that. So all of the characters should not speak the same. That's very important. What kind of clothes do they wear? Now, we're not just throwing labels on people just to say we're throwing labels. Labels should be used to inform characterization, so that if they are wearing Versace, it's because we are saying that they have some money, or they may be ghetto fabulous and they got no money, but then bought these Versaces or whatever. So I want you to make sure don't grab the labels just to act like because what's fly here in Baltimore may not be in Texas or what have you. Okay, what kind of personality do they have? Are they nice, rude, mean? Are they delightful? Also, remember this. You always want to have 2 sides of a monster whenever you're writing anything, people. The more sides, the better, okay? Then I have all of this listed in this book. In the event that you don't get it, just remember what it is I'm saying, okay? I also go in through a unique way of how to develop your story, which is, it has plot points, but it's not really, but it's using the hero's journey. I give you my take on it using the story that I created. You can pull this up on your own and try to understand it. But listen, if you're going to grab the hero's journey to understand it on the internet, don't let it delay. We are writing today. I like it. Don't let it delay. We are writing today. So I don't want you to get so caught up into the hero's journey that now it's time to write and you're not doing it, okay? So a few more things that you got to do before you start. Take 2 minutes to think of the scene before you write it. Very important. And I may put this over here or over here, one of my sides. Take 2 minutes to think about the scene, because a lot of times because you're not outlining, and if you're just coming in, I teach people how to build their book empires at the Elite Writers Academy through outlining, because the objective there is to make sure you do it multiple times, because once you do it multiple times, you get multiple streams of income. This is good for people who don't really have their idea fleshed out. So you're going to have to spend some time because you don't have the benefit of the outline. You're going to have to spend some time. Okay, I'm not going to bother y'all no more. Okay, so just think 2 minutes about what's going to happen in your scene. Think of it as an athlete stretching before he starts his sport. You want to get your juices going. Don't be hard on yourself, but be serious about this moment, okay? During the 30 days, the pen should not touch your book until you are ready to write. Just think about your scene, and when you're ready, go. That's the first thing. The second thing is you are to write 5 pages a day, okay? And this is important because the more pages you write, the further along you get. You only have 30 days, okay? I ain't gonna tell you. I was gonna tell y'all you can write a book in 48 hours if you want to, but that is something different because you would need outlining. You ought to write 5 pages a day. And it's so important to write 5 pages a day because you are trying to get your creative juices going and revved up. If you don't write every day, you can't write a book in 30 days because your mind doesn't understand. It's like, what are you doing? We normally don't do this. We normally don't have time for this. We normally on the internet. So you have to make sure that you sit down knowing that you're going to write 5 pages a day. No rewriting for the first 30 days. You're just going to use this paper, this book, and you're going to be writing from it because I don't want you distracted from the internet, okay? Move past extensive descriptions. And I talk about this also. I have a page-by-page book planner where I tell you what to write on each page of your novel. And that's available at the EliteWritersAcademy.com. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is I'm also referring to this part of it, which says don't write extensive descriptions. You don't want, let's say, for example, it says the house was beautiful. Alarm. So the house is beautiful. It had such and such. It had chandeliers and crystals streaming down. Instead of doing that, you write parentheses, describe house here, close parentheses, and we marveled at the design. Figured one day we would live in such a place if we hustled and hustled hard. Because it's not important enough to go into a lot of detail. And furthermore, we don't have enough page real estate to do that. So you are going to just write what's very important, okay? And this is very important. The next 5, number 5, if it sounds stupid, write it anyway. Some of my most profitable books in my career, raunchy, shitless, started off with ideas that sounded stupid, and I wrote them anyway. And the rest is full-time writer, publisher history. So don't ignore those ideas because you think they're stupid. They may be the spark of something. So write them down anyway. Okay. Use number 6. Use all of your senses: sight, hearing, touch, smell, taste. Don't limit yourself. When you're writing your ideas, what does it smell like in the room? Example: Shelley saw the bright orange flecks of sun as she lay on her back. That's sight. Hearing: Shelley heard the soft sounds of tires rolling over gravel in the distance. That's hearing. Touch: Shelley could feel the cool blades of grass under her fingertips. Smell: the scent of the earth after the recent rain was pleasing to Shelley's nose. Taste: Shelley pulled a blade of grass from the earth and sat it on the tip of her tongue. She could taste the dew's sweetness. And she's actually weird if she does that. But you get what I'm saying, which can also be a character trait. That's very important for you to do. Use all of your senses. Number 7, never judge your characters. I almost judged Harmony Phillips from my book Raunchy, and that would have caused me dearly. To think that book was almost not possible because I thought she was the raunchiest, the nastiest thing that ever ran across the earth. and I was about to judge her is embarrassing. Don't judge your characters. Allow them to be who they are, as long as they are authentic. How do you know they are authentic? Because you have thought about them, your characters, your main characters, before you are writing your book. Okay? You thought about what they eat. You thought about what they look like. You thought about what they taste, what they don't like, what they do like. You thought about these things. Number 8, don't describe characters' clothing traditionally. This is very important. For instance, never write she was wearing a black leather jacket and a red miniskirt as she walked through the room. Instead, write she tugged nervously on her black leather jacket. Her red miniskirt clung to her thick thighs, and it looked as if it were painted on her body. So you want to try to be creative when you're describing clothes, if you are putting them in your book, because they are important. Remember, we don't want to be overly descriptive because we don't have enough pages for that. Show, don't tell. It says, consider this sentence. Chance walked nervously to Shelley in an effort to get her attention. The sentence is not bad, but it's boring. Let's try instead. Chance trudged slowly towards Shelley. His palms were filled with puddles of sweat, and his temples throbbed due to nervousness. So I'm trying to be a little bit more visual. I couldn't even write a sentence that was not showing because it's not in me, not to not show, but you understand what I'm saying. You want to show what it looks like, and you show by using the senses also. Okay? Make dialogue real. This is number 10. Although the first 30 days are not for rewriting, still make it real. People don't say, how are you? I'm fine. You good? Yes, girl. What about you? They don't talk like that. It's, bitch, wait till, and this is my books. Y'all probably like, girl, I'm doing Christian fiction. But, bitch, why did such and such? Somebody cut them off. No, forget all that. Let me tell you what happened. I was talking, girl, listen. People, think about how people talk. And if you don't know how people talk, that means you're not listening enough in your real life. Resist the urge to always be running your mouth. Okay? Resist the urge to be that way. Start listening more. This is number 11. This is also very important. Give each of your main characters agendas, because if they have separate agendas in a room, then the book is going to pop even more. Say you got 2 main characters. I think I even gave an example on here. One character wants to go to McDonald's, the other character wants to go to Burger King, and they are beefing about that. On the surface, it looks like they are beefing about food, but perhaps the person that wants to go to Burger King is tired of never being heard and uses this Burger King scenario as a way to just beef. Yeah. So think about that kind of thing. 12, cram as many conflicts in your story as possible. If it's too easy, you got a problem. People don't want to read stories about stuff that is easy going. I don't care if it's comedy. I don't care if it's sci-fi. I don't care if it's nonfiction. Bring in conflict. You have to have it. And know your view. Are you writing first person or third person? You can't mix the two. You gotta pick a poison, okay? And I go into detail in the book if you don't know what that is. It says know your ending. This is a lot, but I'm sorry. We gotta do these things. Know your ending even if it changes. So it's good to know your ending, because it's like getting in a car and somebody saying, just drive me. Drive me where? Okay, I don't know. I'm just driving. Well, I don't know if I want to go. I got to be on Zoom at 3 o'clock. I'm not getting in the car with you. You don't know where you're going. You have to know, because knowing where you're going is going to inform all of your pages. It's not up for discussion. If you want to write a book in 30 days, this is non-negotiable. Number 15, leave each chapter with a cliffhanger. So don't give it its all, within your 5 pages, because I consider 5 pages to be a chapter in this book. So leave it with a cliffhanger, for more suspense. Give your main characters catchphrases and hobbies to give them personalities even more, okay? Number 17, work with multiple outcomes to throw your readers off. Perhaps one character has been doing certain things, and then the readers would just assume they're going to continue to do those things. But then you throw them off their hinges a little bit. And it can't be something that's so ridiculous that they don't see coming. There had to have been one sneaky trait earlier in the book where it could have been known, like, oh yeah, I can see that coming. And stop with the perfection. Just write and have a good time. I know it's hard, but we're talking about write a book in 30 days, okay? So now you're ready. You're amped up. It's time to go. You're going to write your book. And I want to leave you with this quote. It says, those rituals of getting ready to write produce a kind of trance state. And by John Barth. And I want you to think about why you're doing this. Think about what it's going to mean for you in your life. Think about what it's going to mean for you and your family. This is going to be an amazing thing. This is going to be all good. And you can do it. You can have everything that you dreamed of. You just got to have focus. And that's why I like writing this book in 30 days, even though I teach with the Elite Writers Academy and I work hands-on with these guys. I also like this part of it because it's forcing you to be in a habit, and that's what you want. A habit is good. You can write those first 5 pages today. You got this. You got it. You got it. I'm giving it to you, so it's good. All right? Get started, babies. Bye.